Sounds like they're sure instantly quiet. What am I doing different today? I'm going to remember. I'll wait a couple minutes. I want everybody to get the rest of their coffee. And if you need a refill, now's your chance. I had thought that maybe after all the cold weather, we'd be done with illness and stuff like that. But I've had numerous phone calls today. There are people sick, needless to say, that are normally here that are not. There's still evidently a lot going on, so yeah. So be careful, everybody. There's stuff around. Okay, let's begin with a prayer. How comforting it is, Lord, to know that if we seek you, we will find you. As we are about to begin the Lenten season, we know that you are with us every step of the way as we once again approach Easter. Thank you for the revealing of your word, your way, and your love to us. Be with those that are not with us today. Be with Gates as he shares with us. And lastly, open our ears, minds, and hearts as we listen. In Christ's name, amen. Refreshments today were kind of a very joint effort. Suzanne West, still in her boot, has made it, working on it, being the head person. Jane Warren, who stepped in to help, became quite ill this week. So she is not with us, but Jane Blackburn brought her goodies that she had prepared. She brought that, so they managed to put it all together. So thank you, ladies. Very appropriate, too, for Valentine's Day. It's a beautiful table. I did promise Jean, there she is, that I would mention that she still has a few of the ornaments that WOC is selling. And I will throw this out as a thought to you. We have a baptism in the family coming up in a month, and I'm having the back engraved with the name and date and all, and I thought it would be a nice, so in other words, it has uses other than just hanging on a Christmas tree. So just thought I'd throw that out. So anyway, we're going to move on then to Gates, who we all know quite well and see regularly. He's here almost every month with us and contributes, which we appreciate your comments every month. In addition to being a writer himself, he is a retired attorney. He's also served as deacon and Sunday school teacher. He and his wife, Joan, have raised 5 children and are now involved in the world of grandparents. He and Joan joined First Press 47 years ago, and let's just move on, Gates, and start, and you talk to us about cats and books.
I scrutinize your faces. I believe I see perhaps 8 cat lovers here. I'm delighted to see you. And in a moment I shall introduce myself. But for now, I have for you a brief synopsis of our little story. And a few words about the author. We have a teenager, Rentaro Matsukawa, orphaned at an early age. His grandfather and guardian dies, and Rentaro is left alone as proprietor of father's second-hand bookstore. Yes, and this is a place that he must soon leave to go live with a distant aunt. A woman he hardly knows. Suddenly, a magical cat appears on the scene to whisk Rintaro away on journeys to save books. Oh, yes. Well, we experienced Rintaro as a shy, introverted boy, trying to become a man of the world. Thank you. Yeah. Aided by Seigo, his high school class president, and a lovely girl, they joined Tiger, the tabby cat, on various journeys, visiting labyrinths. Yes. With their own book villain at the center. The reader is often reminded by the aunt's frequent appearances that Rentaro's time is running out, for he must pack up his meager belongings and leave. For you see, the bookstore is to be sold. Now, as to the author, I give you Sosuke Matsukawa. He is a Japanese physician and novelist. His multi-volume debut novel, God's Medical Records, won several prizes and has sold over 3 million copies in Japan alone. In addition to the internationally best-selling cat who saved books, we have a cat who saved the library. Yes. The second in a series of books featuring Tiger, the talking tabby cat. Now, that's all very well and good, but what I want you to know is that I prefer the name Hector. The author's obsession with Western classics is well known, and it should have acquainted him with notable references to the name Hector, the most famous Trojan warrior ever, featured in Homer's Iliad. I do not know why the author insists on calling me Tabby. Oh, Tiger. And as you shall see, the name Hector fits both my style as a verb and a noun. Now, shall we begin with my first appearance? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, all right then. I first encountered the boy Rintaro gazing gloomily at the bookshelves in his grandfather's shop. When I greeted him, he seemed surprised that a cat could talk. So I asked him for his help. And our dialogue went like this. My help? Yes, your help. Help with what? There are books that have been imprisoned. Books? Yes, books! Are you a parrot? Stop repeating everything I say like some hacklet. What? After this little tirade, I want to assure you that Rentaro and I began to get along splendidly. And if you were listening, oh, and I pray you are, if you were listening, you heard me mention labyrinths. Yes, labyrinths. What better word could you conjure for the surreal challenges and deceptive illusions that Rentaro must face? Our first labyrinth turned out to be a red carpeted affair, a long hallway, and along each side were white display cases, each with their identical padlock. A long hallway it was, and at the very end we saw a man. The man was impeccably dressed. He had a gentle smile and a keen gaze, and to Rentaro he seemed to be a man of great sophistication. His library, we learned, contained over 57,000 volumes, some of which he had read, none had he reread. Turns out, this man bought books for show and had himself featured on television where gullible audiences were led to believe he actually knew something. Our second labyrinth had a name for the tall, austere building in which it resided. The name, and I do hope you're listening, the name was the Institute of Reading Research. And deep inside the bowels of the building, we found the director of operations. He was merrily chopping up books while listening to a recording of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. We asked him what he was doing, and he replied thusly, "Willkommen, mein Herren! The focus of my little research is the streamlining of reading. There are so many books in this world, and we humans are so busy that we never have time to read them all. So I have introduced Zusammenfassung and Geschwindigkeit lesen. Ist gut, ja? Oh. No sprechen Sie Deutsch? Ja. Listen. As we say in English, summary, synopsis, and speed the reading. And now all people have time to read. Sensing the turmoil in Rentaro's heart, the director continued. These days, a book is not worthy even if it is profound or difficult. People want to enjoy their masterpieces pleasurably, fashionably, and uncomplicated ways. No masterpiece can survive if it does not adapt. So I feel my little scissors to save the life of these books. Yeah! Sensing the turmoil in Rentaro's heart, director frowned as we turned to leave the building. And on the way out, I want to assure you that Rentaro thought this was sheer madness, as did I. I thought of that was housed in a short grey building with a sign above the doorway that read, "World's Best Books." In case you did not hear me, I'll say it again. World's Best Books! And it was on the top floor where Seiyo, the beautiful young girl, and Rentaro found the president. He surprised Rentaro, greeting him by name and referring to Natsuki books. And knowing that Rentaro loved books, the president muttered, "Here's your problem, Rentaro. Books are merely expendable goods. My job is to make sure that they are consumed in the most efficient manner. I couldn't do my job if I was some bookworm like you, Rentaro." And to Rentaro's amazement, the president continued, saying that there was no decline in the number of readers around the world. No, Rentaro, books sell really well these days, as long as one fundamental rule is applied. Sell books that sell. That's the rule. Rentaro, we print the books as society wants. For those readers who like a little bit of stimulation, the best way is to do it with pornography, or, if you prefer, explicit violence. And for those readers who lack a little imagination, we add to the cover of every little book we publish 3 magic words. For example, "This really happened." And that does the trick. Yes, sir. Rentaro, do you know what most readers are looking for in a book these days? Something cheap, something easy, something exciting. Nobody cares about truth or ethics or, God forbid, philosophy. No. People are worn out from living, don't you know? All they want is either to be stimulated or healed. Now, as your tour guide for this book, I am delighted to report that at every labyrinth, our hero Rentaro held his own against every protagonist. In the first labyrinth, he confronted the hoarder of books who read only for expertise and fame, with a sheer enjoyment of rereading. In the second labyrinth, he challenged the director of operations with the awareness of the beauty of the words he had excised from the original. And in the third labyrinth, he confronted the seller of books with a challenge to change his business plan. He pointed out that classics endure and are constantly being published and republished for profit. And then Rentaro surprised me. Yes, even cynical me was nearly brought to tears by his words. He said to me, "You came to me saying that you needed to free some books and that you needed my help. But when I think you really had another goal in mind, because out of self-pity, I had locked myself away in my grandfather's bookshop, and you forced me out of it to find a strength I did not know I had. Thank you, Tiger. Thank you." Now, I'm certain that you will agree this would be the perfect place to end our little story. Rentaro is no longer the shy, introverted boy with no obvious purpose in life. And in case you didn't guess already, his friendship with Seo is blossoming into a little romance. And the idea of staying on as the proprietor of Matsukawa secondhand books is growing a little bit more appealing every day. But we cannot end our story here. For you see, Seo has been kidnapped. And now Rentaro and I must enter the fourth labyrinth, the most dangerous of all. Let me prepare you for our journey. To date, in the first three labyrinths, we have encountered the merely eccentric or misguided. Now we face a more formidable foe. She is a muse, and she calls herself the spirit of the age. Did you hear me? She calls herself the spirit of the age, and she resents Rentaro's interference. Let me tell you why. In a world that moves from crisis to crisis, no longer sure of peace and contentment, this muse has found a home where she can thrive in chaos, uncertainty, and moral inversion. Now to the story. As a part of our new adventure, we were picked up by a coach and four. His elderly driver led us to a vast estate where under sunny skies fountains bubbled, but there was no sign of life. Not just human life, but no birds, no butterflies, nothing to sustain the life of this place. Therefore, we knew it was not real. But our carriage raced on through the night. Starlight fell on our red velvet interior. And suddenly I became aware of the need to try to keep Rentaro awake. So I decided to philosophize. books have souls, I blurted. But not every book with a soul is a helpful book. Rentaro, shaken awake, asked me to explain. Older books, you see, particularly those with a long history, have been affected by the minds and souls of a great many people. These books become imbued with a power, a tremendous power, whether it be for good or for evil. Suddenly the scenery changed. We had arrived at a very old town, one that neither of us recognized. Tall buildings abounded, and here and there bicycles leaned against their walls. The carriage door opened. The elderly driver beckoned for us to get out. Rentaro slowly climbed out, down to the street, and then he turned to look at me. Aren't you coming? No. You're ready to go forward on your own. Rentaro turned his back to the carriage and began to walk down a narrow cobblestone street. Suddenly, he saw a sign above a doorway that read, Matsukawa Books. It was his grandfather's old shop. The door was open, and as Rentaro stepped inside, a woman's voice greeted him. Welcome, young Rentaro. She was an elderly woman, all dressed in black. She sat on a sofa in the middle of the room. All around were empty bookshelves, not a single book, making this place feel empty and careless. Sit down, Rentaro. And when Rentaro refused, she said, someone as powerful as I am deserves a little more respect from the likes of you. A chill ran down Rentaro's spine as he gazed into the eyes of this melancholy woman. It was obvious this adversary was operating on a different level. Rentaro, I hope you are enjoying a little stage production. Never mind that. I've come to get Sayo back. Really? You're not as clever as I thought you might be. Now, back in the carriage, comfortably perched on my red velvet seat, I thought about joining Rentaro. But then I thought the better of it. For you see, had I done so, I would have deprived Rentaro of his greatest victory. And then I mused on whether to tell you the rest of the story. And having mused upon it, I see no need to deny you of your own magnificent experience. Therefore, apart from the ending, have you any questions? Oh, and by the way, I'm still Hector to you. Oh, are there any brave souls among you? No? Well then, as we say in old party, I bid you adieu. Thank you. I had fun with this book. I encourage you to read the book with surrender in mind. Critics have said that this book is written for children. I can concur with that since I regard myself to be a child. I'm just having fun. Now, in a non-threatening mode, if there are any questions, I'll entertain them. Yes?
I don't know, have you by chance read any others in the series? Can you give us any idea where this series goes from here, or what came before?
Yes, well, what came before was his multi-volume debut novel, God's Medical Records. And that was the one that really, well, made him as a writer. I have not read it. This is the only book of the two in the series about Tiger, the talking tabby cat. I made all this stuff up about Hector. That's not in the book.
Right.
Anything else?
Have you ever performed in theater?
Sorry.
Have you ever performed in theater?
You would call this a performance.
Yeah. Yes. You should take it up, baby.
I do.
Well, I have another question. That was just the first question. What, do you think the author had a purpose in writing this? Was he trying to make a comment about the publishing world today, or where reading is in our world today, or our society today? Do you think he had a purpose behind this?
Let me get some help. What do you think?
I think so. Being a retired school teacher, you know, everything is now online or, you know, whatever. And I have a problem with audiobooks because I like to read the text and not, you know, and I guess if you're an audio learner, I guess audio would be the way to go, but no, I'm a visual learner.
Other thoughts? Keep in mind the hoarder of books, the expert who read for fame. Keep in mind the publisher of world's best books, who was cynical, to say the least, about readers and reading and the importance of truth and ethics. And keep in mind the mad scientist who thought that Reader's Digest was the way to go. Did I answer your question?
I mean, I was thinking along those lines, but I wanted to hear from you.
That's a tough act to follow. I'm not going to try. We really appreciate this. Hector, Gates, very much, and we appreciate your, once again, coming through with us. And I believe the book was your suggestion, am I not correct? And we like that too. So anyway, our meeting next month will be March the 10th, and Jane Hansen, who of course comes on her spring break. That's the only reason that's the only time she can ever come to review for us. So we appreciate that she gives her Tuesday afternoon of spring break week to be with us. So she'll be with us again. And take care of yourself, stay healthy, and we'll see you next month, I hope. Thank you
Happy
for coming.
Valentine's Day.
Beg your pardon?
Happy Valentine's.
If you need Norma, see me anytime. I'm ushering this month also at church.
How many do you have left?
About 30. We're down to the final few.
Very much. Okay, well, thanks again for coming. We'll see you. There's still some candy out there on the table, if anybody needs some of those chocolate.